Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the XWF podcast with your host, Chronic Chris Page, them no good bastards, Thunder Knuckles, Bobby Bourbon, and yes, if available, Bearded War Pig. And the action starts now.
Hey, it's Chris Page. We're here with another episode of the XWF podcast. Joining me today, as always, we've got the them no good bastards, the current XWF World Tag Team Champions, Thunder Knuckles. It's another show, man. How are you? What's going on in your woods?
Waking up, living life, just glad to be here.
And we've got the other half of them bastards, the one, the only, Mr. Bobby Bird. What's up, brother?
Hey, not much. Glad to be here. I've got my coffee. I've got potato salad. I've got some Pringles. I am Potato Man today.
Sounds like you've got a win right there. Is what that sounds like to me.
It's delicious.
I mean, you just woke up not too long ago. You talk about breakfast of goddamn champions, brother. That's making my stomach growl a little bit. So we're on the heels of Leap of Faith. We've got a lot going on. This is not the Leap of Faith podcast per se, but we're probably going to touch on a little bit here and a little bit there. Couple of guests joining us this week. The first two are the advertised guests that we had to reschedule due to Mother's Day, but glad to have both of these guys and, well, this one guy and this one gal in the seats with us today. Let's give it up for the descendants. First, Lycana, welcome to the podcast, girl. Thank you for taking some time out to chat with us.
No problem. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm tired, ain't gonna lie, but we're gonna make it. That's what we do. We've also got your tag team partner, former television champion, Marf Swayson. We're just gonna call him Marf. Marf, welcome to the show, man.
Hey guys and gal, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
It's not every day that we can get somebody from the Great White North on the line, brother. So no, we're glad that you're here. And as you know, you've got TK and Bobby Bourbon on the line too. So let me formally introduce you to them no good bastards. You guys are going to team up and pair off at Leap of Faith, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But you guys want to meet the bastards? Bastards meet the descendants.
Hey guys,
Hello,
hey
bastards.
What's up, bastards?
Hiya. Let him talk with you all. I'm just going to detract for a little bit. This might get edited out. Sorry, I meant to bring it up earlier. I'm working on the segment for Warfare with the contract signing. We'll get you a draft of that soon. To Lycana, nice talking with you again. To Marf, I know you're from Canada. I'll try to go slow.
Appreciate it.
Well, you're more polite than I am, so, by default.
Makes sense.
Hello, guys.
I just heard you rolling your eyes at that one, bud.
It was a hard roll.
Nice. So, before we go any further in the conversation, this is a money question. Was that? And I do want to just ask it now, and it's not really a hardball question. If you don't want to answer the question, that's cool. The name Marf. I think it's actually a pretty cool name. It's unique. Where did you come up with the name Marf?
Honestly, it goes all the way back to like when I was a kid. I would just play Super Nintendo all the time. So lots of Super Nintendo RPGs. So you're always naming your characters. And I was a big Home Alone fan and I liked Marv. So I went with Marf so I wasn't totally ripping it off. And then I just kept using it over and over again. Then I used it as my first email address. And everyone just started calling me that. So it just stuck. I don't know what happened.
Home Alone fan. What was your favorite flick? between the series?
Probably number 2. It was just a delight.
We also have joining us today as a kind of a surprise guest to the show, one that has been asked for to come back. Glad to have him. JB, welcome back to the podcast. How are you today, sir?
Hello, everybody. I've been doing okay. How are you all been doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Good to have you back, JB. Thank you.
Bless.
We're all we're all living the dreams in our own respective ways for sure. Um, and before we get into anything Leap of Faith related, let's go ahead and get into Saturday Night Savage. This is the last show before the pay-per-view. A lot happening here. 3-match program, but a lot going on with the Leap of Faith opt-ins for the Leap of Faith match at the pay-per-view. This show takes place excuse me, we're in Boston. We're at the TD Gardens Arena. Interesting kickoff to the show is none other than Theo Price. Doesn't sound like Theo's too happy, right? That we don't have as many people opting in based off of the direction of the promo. You know, this leads to him bringing in his own personal chosen champion. The corporate Chris Chaos is officially in Leap of Faith. Let's talk about this for a second, Bobby Bourbon. Let me come to you first. Now, what's interesting is as I put a poll up not too long ago with Chris Chaos as a talking point, his ascension into the Fed and all that good things. And now it seems like here he is opting in for Leap of Faith, and he's Theo's handpicked corporate champion, so to speak. So what are you thinking about that? And do you think that Chaos can get back in the mix real quick and use this as an opportunity to do so?
Well, I think what it does is Chaos, the character, really hasn't been around and hasn't been seen much in the XWF of late. And I think this is a fascinating way that we get Chaos back in the mix. And it instantly gives him some relevance too, because he's coming in as like the corporate enforcer, as the handpicked guy, so to speak. So I'm actually excited now to see Chaos is in the match rather than just like, oh, they just took some name and tossed it in the mix. They gave it some gravity, which is awesome. TK, what do you think?
Who saw that coming? Theo Price handpicking Chris Chaos to be his champion in this thing? I think the corporate gimmick gives new life into Chaos, and I think it's going to benefit the handler. Really change up Chris Chaos's character.
One of those that was like, oh shit, we kicked this thing off and it's kicked off with a bang. Lycana, I know you probably don't know a whole lot about Chris Chaos or anything, or maybe you do if you went back and done a little bit of research on it. But to see that name thrown into the Leap of Faith match, what did you think about that?
I don't know that much about him. He hasn't been active since I've been in. He had, I think, the one match against Dad. So I got to see a little bit of his work during that. I think he's going to be a good competitor if he can bring the same game that he did during that match.
If he's on his game, then he's a threat at all aspects and at all points. JB, you're probably around when Chaos came in back in his initial run, and now to see him back and taking the stab at the Leap of Faith match, what was your initial thought when you saw that?
Well, honestly, it was inevitable. I mean, for Chaos, I've seen Chaos, I've seen his work, I've seen everything. So basically, him becoming a corporate guy in this match makes a whole lot of sense. So why not? maybe he'll be the corporate champion by the end. Who knows? So that's my take on it.
It's going to be some stiff competition for him, but we moved from there into there was a segment with Alias and Ned, and just kind of teasing a little bit. Alias is doing that briefcase right. I can say that based off of all the little development posts here and there, and kind of letting it know that no one's really safe. And who is he targeting? We don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. And of course, Ned, Alias was kind of assuming that Thad would take it out, take the belt off of Ned. Ned just made it pointedly clear that there's definitely not going to be no Thad in this equation. So that's going to be interesting to see where that one goes, if it goes anywhere at all, other than developing the briefcase story. It pushed us into the opening match, which was Ariel Dixon versus Demos. A lot of nothing going on here. A lay down, 1, 2, 3. Ariel Dixon wins the her debut match here. Pretty much, Demos just laid down and took the loss. TK, what did you think about this one?
Well, I've seen somebody else do this before, and in good style. Ariel picking up the win. What was shown on the boards really told the story there. But yeah, that's all I got. Burbs.
Yes.
What'd you think of the Ariel Dixon Demos match?
I think that the effort put forth on the boards was minimal at best. That I think that goes for a lot of the matches on this card, except for one guy. The match itself was what it was. Definitely not a barn burner.
It rolled us into to the next segment where we get yet another entrant to the Leap of Faith match. So there's tension obviously here building between Vinny and Theo around this Leap of Faith match. Sil Frigda is now involved, and Sil got a little handsy with Vinny. So now we've got Corporate Chaos and Sil Frigda locked into the Leap of Faith match. Sil put up some really good work for the Battle Royal. Marf, let me come to you first on this one. Now you see Corporate Chaos, and now we've got Sil already now involved in the Leap of Faith match itself at the pay-per-view. What does this say for the other competition?
I think that says they better bring their A game, because those are two very, very good writers right there.
Mm-hmm. Bobby, let me go to you.
Well, Sil has been on a tear lately, and he is a pretty strong writer, and he's been pretty consistent. He likes generating content on the board, and he's been making a name for himself on the cards. Go ahead and throw him into the Leap of Faith match. It's a good ad. It's definitely a powerhouse within the match, in a match that doesn't necessarily favor powerhouses, mind you, but we'll see how it goes. Because this Leap of Faith match can be a little bit different than the other ones, because now it's going to be in a zero gravity environment. So I look forward to reading it, and I look forward to reading Sil's work.
That's another. I mean, it's a big name to throw into this match, and we're only getting started here because this shit only gets deeper. We get a Alias spot, another Demos and Alias segment. Actually, hold up, let me just make sure. Jim Cadis, sorry. The next piece of this, we come back from commercial. Jim Cadis is announced for the Leap of Faith match itself, which only makes it that much bigger. Cadis returned at the BWO pay-per-view. TK, I know that you've done some research on Jim. I've done a little bit of research on Jim. With his name being thrown into the mix here, what does that do to the already big environment?
Yeah, man. We just got the four we knew, Corporate Chaos, Syl, and now Jim Cadis. This field is looking pretty dope as far as the card goes, right?
It's getting there, man. Like it is already there. We've got Corey who's already opted in for it by this point. Demos has already opted in for it at this point. You had RL opt in for it at this point. So the field is thickening for the opportunity to get this one briefcase that could make or break your XWF career and change your entire trajectory in one opportunity in one swoop. Bobby, where are you thinking about Jim and his involvement now in the Leap of Faith match?
Well, I think it makes sense. You know, he just had his big return comeback on the BWO show. Having him show up and be in the Leap of Faith match, a lot of people have been talking about him. There's a lot of buzz. I think again, it just makes sense from a storytelling aspect to have him involved.
JB, you were around when Jim Cadis was here. Give us a little insight from your side on what it means to have him involved in a match of this magnitude.
In this magnitude, as you know, for as long as I've seen him and his work and everything, it's pretty cool that he and Chaos is going to be in this thing. I know he's a good writer, and I feel like in this scenario, who knows? He is a good addition to this whole entire thing. So yeah.
Lycana, Jim Cadis, Leap of Faith. Your thoughts?
He's another one that I don't know much about, but I have heard that he's pretty much a legend. So to see him come in and join in with all the other big names, I can't wait to see what he comes up with and see how he writes. This might be jumping the gun a little bit, but in the future, if Maine happened to win the Universal title, I would love to see two of them go head to head since they're an alliance, right?
Mm-hmm. Marf, man, what are you thinking about that?
I'm actually in the same boat as Lycana. I don't know a lot about the character, but I did get to read a bit about him on the Bob show. He seems fun, and I'm excited to see what he can bring. He's definitely referred to as a legend, so just having yet another big name in this already huge talent pool, I mean, it's going to be a lot of good RPs for this event coming up.
I hate the people who have to judge this one because it's going to be a nightmare. The next segment's Demo's trying to get a fall on Alias, who kicks out. I like that development because you don't really see a whole lot of that with the Extreme title, where it's taken to that level where you get segments where a pinfall's going to try and take place. So kudos there. I guess we go to commercial, and then we go to the hardest working man on Saturday Night Savage this past cycle, and that's the Centurion versus Atara Themis versus Marf triple threat match. TK, I'm gonna let you go first here because we love giving Centurion shit, but can't really give him too much here because he picked up a big win via tap out.
Yep. He picks up the win. He showed up. He did his job. Centurion will do his job. That is a fact. And kudos to him for doing it.
Burbs.
Again, kudos to Centurion. He came through and really he did a lot to carry the show. So good job for him. Bully. We know the guy out of character. Not going to say we like him, but we know the guy out of character. And good for him.
Lycana and Marf, let's talk about this post match. Looks like you guys are involved. Talk me through it. What's going on? What's happening here?
Well, I came in afterwards and took Scent out so I could get my hands on Atara. And we were essentially just setting up so y'all can meet Thrax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Thra-
once the beatdown is all done with, then the lights go out, and then surprise, surprise, another entrant shows up, and it's Thrax, which then leads into I believe Thrax put in his little part of the segment there with his little speech.
And Thrax opts in for Leap of Faith too, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and obviously there's sort of deal with the Descendants there. So the Descendants are now represented, as far as on the pay per view is concerned, the tag, the Extreme, and now the Leap of Faith match. So interested to see how this would be Thrax's debut. So right, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I believe it's going to be his debut. So if you read what Lycana said, um, this was actually foretold in the past. So I think everyone should watch how the story goes and really pay attention. And maybe you all can figure out what's going on.
Yeah, it needs to happen. I mean, and Lacana, you're all over the show. Your next segment, the next segment rolling in is you and Alias setting up the Extreme title match for Leap of Faith. I mean, you guys are all over the place here on this show. Big segment there. That's gonna be a huge match, and we'll talk about that one in just a few minutes. You get into your main event, Jenny missed, and it's Sil Frigda. Jenny missed, no shows here, so this match is definitely going Sil's way. In the ring after or during the match, Chaos shows up, does a deal, and closes us out on the match. You know, Chaos laying out Jenny Mist. Now they had a topsy turvy relationship. They were a couple at one point, and now he's showing up and I guess ending that once and for all. What, Bobby? What do you think about that little situation between Chaos and Mist? Like the I guess it's their final falling out.
Well, I think that it might be a part of the tale that's just weaving and ongoing because they've been on and off forever. So we'll see how it plays out.
It leads us to the final segment of the show, and this one's the one that caught me more off guard than anything else, and caught me more by surprise than anything else. Was uh, Doc officially opts in for the Leap of Faith match. This has now went from great to holy shit in one show. What's JB? I'm gonna come to you first. What's Doc's involvement now in this due to the dynamic of the Leap of Faith briefcase match from your perspective?
Well, I don't want to say it changes it completely because we already have some really strong talent in there, but it definitely gives it a little bit more credence. I mean, we knew Doc was going to be doing something at the show. Since he lost to Alias, didn't win the Extreme Championship, we knew he was going to be doing something high profile. Nobody came out and directly challenged Doc. Doc was going to come out and challenge the world.
TK?
The king is dead, it looks like. Yeah, this is going to be nuts. The Leap of Faith match itself, the talent involved, and now throwing Doc into it. Doc and Corey are going to be sharing the same ring. This thing with Cadis and Sil, Corporate Chaos, Lycana, no, Thrax, right? Thrax is one in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this thing could be outstanding. And Demos is in it, correct? R.L. Edgar? This is like a 10-man field.
It is a 10-man field.
It is?
Yeah.
Nice.
This is going to be a crazy, crazy leap of faith match, is what it's going to be. I can't wait. So, Lycana, what do you think about that?
With Doc, I actually enjoyed the segment. I love when characters twist around and do something different, so I can't wait to see what he actually does with this. But to add his name into that match, it's like the cherry on top. And him and Corey, I think it's been coming for a long time, even though they're in Continuum together. I've been waiting to see them go at each other since I pretty much joined Fed, so I'm really, really excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. I want to see that badly. Marf, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was really surprised and delighted to see Doc come back so soon. I wasn't sure when we were going to see him, but same thing. I love interesting character developments. As much as I was loving the King Doc role, it's going to be really cool to see what he does with this now. And as far as the match is concerned, yeah, this is going to be great. I mean, I think this is the first time Corey and him are sharing a ring since being a tag team and losing those titles. So that is already a huge, great storyline involved. And then you got all these other amazing role players involved that have all their own character storylines twisting and turning in this thing. It's going to be such a good match.
All right. So I think that covers most of Savage, which again didn't have a lot of matches, but was very eventful. We do have John Black with us now, and we have a Chronic Chris Page, and they have a Universal Championship match at Warfare, which is coming this Wednesday. Guys, go ahead and tell us, what the process has been like for both of you for this match, and what your expectations are.
Okay, so this Universal title match for me, I'm really am focusing on trying to build JB up as this like guy who doesn't care, but he knows that deep down inside he wants the belt. He's fronting like, "Oh, I don't care about the belt," but secretly he does. From that angle, he's willing to just say like, "Oh, I don't care," but knowing deep down he wants to care. He wants to be full throttle at it. There's a reason why for this title opportunity is so big for me personally because for as long as I've been on this website for 9 years or so, I've never seen my character go beyond like that kind of level. So in this predicament, like it's a huge honor, and I'm trying to take my time with my promos and everything. They may not be great, but I know that in a way, I'm just trying my best to just make sure the story is like, him being the underdog in this case. He may be the heel in the other sides of company or whatever, but from the way I'm trying to write him as is like this guy who knows there's a lot at stake here. So in a way, this universal title match is sort of like a stepping stone to something greater for my character. So that's where I'm at with that end.
Well, with me personally, I'm really glad that we're getting around to doing this because when you were a guest on one of our first shows, one thing that you spoke with great passion on was just getting the shot at the uni again. And I really am glad that we're getting the chance to do this. From my perspective and on my side of the coin, like I see how JB is trying to handle it. Um, and I'm also not rushing my stuff either. Like I'm sitting back and I'm able to put a little bit more time into some stuff, and I'm glad that we're able to do the match, and it's gonna be one that I'm hoping um brings the JB character up a notch, which I think ultimately is what you're looking for here. Um it's going to be an honor to defend the belt against you because you do have serious longevity with the Fed, uh, going back 9 or 10 years, and that's something that you don't see every day. And it's gonna be good, man. I'm gonna write the match, and I'm gonna do what I can to make it one worth remembering for sure. Um, best of luck. You've done a great job so far with the role plays. TK and I were talking off air. Was it last night or the night before last about the promos that you're putting out? This is a telltale sign that you know word count and links don't mean shit. It's the content that's within your piece, and you're telling a really good story that I've seen so far. And just want to say kudos to you, sir, because you have upped your game for this defense, and it shows.
I like to say thank you for that. I know that I don't want to go on too long, but like I like to thank you for giving me this opportunity, this shot for, because I've been in title matches, even in the title match that I didn't even know, I didn't look like shoot. I had no idea I was in, but this is a huge one for me. So I appreciate you for even giving me a shot and like putting me up against your caliber of work because for as long as I've seen your work, let me tell you for free, shit, I'm no thespian myself, but I try to match up with yours. I try to work myself in that style a little bit because I can say that I'm not the strongest RP in the world, but I could say that this against you in a way is giving me that like a push in a way that I've never felt that push before with anyone. So in short, I like to thank you myself for you giving me this opportunity.
Well, I mean, if you're not in the game to make people better, then you don't need to be in the game at all. That's kind of my thought process on it. So we're gonna tear it up and we're gonna tear it down. You keep doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. We've got a couple more days till deadline. I'm sure you're gonna put another piece out, and I've got another one or two for you. And we'll let the cards fall where they may. What I think is very interesting about this is, like I said, it's not the words that matter; it's the content and what you deliver. There's still a very good opportunity for John Black to play spoiler to Robert Maine and Chris Page at Leap of Faith. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a foregone conclusion because you don't ever know what's going to happen. Before we go any further, like let me throw this over to Lycana. What are you thinking about JB and Chris Page hooking it up for the Universal Championship?
I think it's going to be a great match. I think with him being in the Fed for so long, to finally get a shot at that belt, I think it's well deserved. And I'm enjoying all the pieces that he's putting up. And he has definitely stepped up his game. I haven't been here that long, but since I've been reading his work, each one is getting better and better, especially now. I think sometimes we all just need someone to give us that push to take us out of our comfort zone, and it just makes us better writers in general.
Well, something about JB that a lot of people may not realize, and you got to go back. There was a run probably I don't know 2 or 3 maybe 4 months ago where JB was on Anarchy, on Savage, and on Warfare in the same cycle. I remember vividly because we covered it on the podcast in the same cycle, and he won all 3 matches in the same cycle. So, the I say that to say anything is possible and anything can happen. And if he can put in that work. And I believe that was with 2 of his 3 characters. It may have even been three, all 3 of the characters of the thugs. I'm not 100% sure. Um, it's huge. It's the potential's there. Marf, what are your thoughts about this upcoming Uni Championship match?
I agree with everything you guys were saying. It's definitely well deserved. Should be a great matchup overall. I mean, 2 great storytellers going at it. Should be definitely fun to read all that.
I'm hoping so. JB, again, man, it's going to be an honor to get this done with you, and I'm really glad that it squeezed in. I remember a little behind the curtain. I hit you up. Um, I want to say the week before, or the cycle that I was dealing with RL, and I said something to the effect of, "Hey man, I may not get another opportunity at this. Do you want to do this in 2 weeks?" And the response was, "Yup." So I'm glad that you took it on short notice, first and foremost. But it's going to be an honor to get this done with you, sir. Before I get your final thought, let me throw it over to TK real quick, to get your opinions on finally getting JB and Chris the Universal Championship.
Yeah, man. JB, you keep doing what you're doing, bud, because you're doing good stuff on the boards right now. I did tell Paige he needed to watch his motherfucking ass because you're coming for it. So, get him. That's all I got.
Well, JB, man, it's going to be fun. That's for sure. Let's give them something to talk about, man.
Don't worry. We'll talk about this until the next pay-per-view comes. Maybe it might not be the greatest match, but it'll be something that when in the future, whoever comes on the site, whether it be like newcomers, old comers, or whoever, will come and see this one match and think, hold up, who is this Don Black character against a guy like Chris Page? I would hope that this match and the story and everything will be like something worthwhile for people that you know are in that position. I'll keep this short. So basically, like I personally feel like this is like going to be an opportunity for anyone. I don't care who you are. You could be the lower guy, you could be the mid card, upper, main event, whatever. This should be a testament that you can put your mind. If you put your mind to it, and you can do it. So like, look at me. I'm not like saying like I'm in the main event or anything like that. That's not it. But I'm just saying like anything is possible when you put your mind to it. So you could be Alias has a shot on cashing in on anybody. Anybody could go for anything. So yeah, this is a huge one, and I would like to thank you again, Paige, and everybody that has supported me through this journey. So thank you.
No, man, thank you, because you've been around, you've seen a lot. You've seen some of the darker days, and you've seen some of the lighter ones. So we're gonna make it happen, brother. You ain't gotta worry about that. Elsewhere on this show, while we've got both tag teams, the Descendants and them No Good Bastards, we got a contract signing coming up on Warfare for the Glass Tables match that's going to take place at Leap of Faith between these two teams. Um, Bobby, if you're in the mix, man, I want to start this off with you, man. Bobby is clearly not in the mix. TK, let me start it off with you, man.
Yeah, it should be fun to write. We're still working on that now. Somebody's been rather lazy, i.e., me. Uh, so we'll get that all written up. Should be a fun little segment.
Marf.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, Bobby. Go ahead.
yeah, I was on mute. I do apologize for that. I'm excited for the match itself. Marf and Lycana have been busting their asses on the boards, putting out great content. It's one thing to have a strong work ethic. It's another thing to have results. And having those results are pretty awesome. I look forward to writing the segment and working on the segment, and hopefully we can make some fireworks happen, get some people talking the way that we were talking about the Leap of Faith match.
Marf, let me go to you first, man. You guys are coming off of a solid showing with Tag Team Turmoil. You're going to be in the ring with them No Good Bastards. I know that the Descendants are not going to come unprepared.
Yeah, we're both very excited about this matchup. We had a lot of fun working with them No Good Bastards. back at Snow Job, as well as in that Triple Threat Tag Team Championship. So we already know what to expect in a way, but we're very excited about this. This is gonna be a lot of fun to write.
Lycana?
I am, yeah. I'm very excited. When back at Snow Job, this was one of our first times working together. So we were still kind of trying to find our footing. But we have, I think Theo said it, we've come a long way with each other, and so have the bastards. So it's going to be really fun to see what we all bring, 2-on-2 match.
It's sure to be one that we're going to be talking about, because the tag division is it's heating up and has stayed heated up, as far as the big pay-per-views and the big defenses, and this is just another one to add to that list. I know that I'm excited for it, and I'm looking forward to it. Bobby Bourbon, man, I know we've got some questions for the descendants, so we'll cover those, and then we'll talk a little bit about their careers and where they're at now in the Fed versus where they were when they came in.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a couple of questions that are coming here and there. The first thing I wanted to bring up, and this might be a topic that's on everybody's mind. I don't really like diving into softball questions. Go ahead and describe to us what it was like being a member of the Left Hand, and what it's like now that the Left Hand isn't a presence so much anymore in the XWF.
Lakana, start that one off for us.
Okay. So, being a member of the Left Hand, we got a lot of shit put on us. And it was to be expected, with a stable coming in and, saying everything that we did. But I think we handled it as well as can be expected. Some people, to me personally, played it up a little bit, uh, as, we enjoyed it with Alias. He really sold Left Hand, and I had a lot of fun working with him through the months. For me personally, with the Left Hand being gone, not too much has changed for her. Just she is still doing everything that she was doing, minus the name. That's really it for me.
What about you, Mark?
Yeah, to start it, I had a lot of fun working with Left Hand. I didn't really expect to get pulled into a faction right away, right after debuting, but Lycana kind of sold me on it, so we went from there. Mostly, I just wanted to team with her, to be honest, and then everyone else seemed good, and then kind of floated off, and then yeah, it kind of fell apart from there. But I just wanted to keep doing what we were doing, which was taking over the tag division and going for the straps.
Now, one of the things a lot of people have said about the Left Hand, was its cult-like nature, and a lot of the talk about how the Left Hand was this and that. It had nothing to do with you guys. It had everything to do with Baphomet and the fact that he never opted in or competed or anything like that. Would you say that you are now out of a cult, that you're no longer in the Left Hand?
Not really, no, because while we were in it, and yeah, we followed him, and he was the leader. We all kind of did our own thing. If we wanted to do something, we would just say it and essentially do it. So we really didn't, know, have to do anything that he said. If we didn't agree with it, we could just say it. We would work it out through there. But no, I don't feel like it was a cult, so to speak.
Did either of you spend any money on any product from Baphomet?
Oh,
No.
Okay.
Here's
TK, do you have any questions?
well, I'm gonna roll into this one. TK, unless I stepped on your nuts. I'm sorry, brother.
No, brother, go ahead.
How does the XWF compare to any other feds that you've been in? Marf, you first.
It's a lot different than anything I've ever been in, to be honest. Like the community is just so much bigger than I've ever seen as far as active writers, and like I honestly can't even point to like anyone that I would say is a bad writer. Everybody's talented, everybody's good. It's a lot of excellent work to read through. Like a lot of other feds I've been in, you have a pitter patter of some talented writers and a lot of just useless floaters, people that just come in, create accounts, and then they're not there. And yeah, this place, I've never seen any place so active for myself, anyways.
How about you, Lycana?
I haven't really been in too many feds. This is my first time writing in about 15 years. So going back to about, I'd say 99, 2000, I just crap. I walked in and cut a 3-second promo and had my character walk out. And from there, I built into stories. And those feds, it really was only based on writing, didn't take into account trash talk, anything like that. So I never did any of that. So that's one of the main differences between back then and now. I had to learn how to do all the trash talking. We did have the AOL chat room. It was nothing like this community. Like Marv said, there's so many people and we're all active and we're all working together. And back then it was really a set number of people. We all kind of got together, did our own little thing. And if you weren't in the little friend group, a lot of people wouldn't even talk to you. So to have this where everyone is together and we all work together, great. It's been a lot of fun for me.
I like to say that we're all one big dysfunctional family. Everyone works together to try and get towards a common goal. You're not always going to agree or you're not always going to agree with someone's view or an opinion, but that's the beautiful thing about people. You're all entitled to it. The next question on this one is, what's your favorite horror movie, Lakana?
I actually don't watch a lot of movies, and I guess they're not really totally horror, but my two favorite would be the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Little Shop of Horrors.
Good calls. Good calls. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yes, that's a good answer.
time
Those are
warp went
awesome
by
picks.
real quick. Marv, same question. What's your favorite horror movie?
See, no, I'm completely opposite. I love horror. That's like my favorite type of movie is horror. So that's such a dick question to ask someone that loves horror. So I think, who was that? Corey that asked that?
Yes.
So yeah, thanks, Corey. Thanks a lot. I don't know, most modern one, I'd have to say I really enjoyed Hereditary as well as Midsummer. I thought the director of both those movies did such a wonderful job of setting a tone. Like the long game of it, it was delightful. But maybe all time would be the newer version of the Evil Dead movie because it's just pure gore and I love it.
If I could jump in here, I'd have to
Yep.
say my favorite horror movie was The Little Toaster That Could. That was a tear jerker.
I remember that movie.
Bobby, go ahead and get us into another set of questions, man. Go ahead.
Okay. So we asked this of everybody. FMK, fuck, marry, kill. We're gonna go Chris Page, Thunder Knuckles, and then me. And this is as a tandem because you're both the guest. Who are you both killing and hiding the body with each other? Who are you entering into a pansexual but platonic marriage with? And who are you guys gonna spit roast?
Or if you don't have a say in this part, we're marrying you, Bourbon.
Oh, thank you.
That's who I would have picked, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Well, somebody's got to die, and then somebody's getting the 11 seconds in heaven treatment.
All right, I'm sorry to say this. I don't know if you agree with me, but do you want to kill Paige?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Too cocky. I'm sorry.
I'm a heel. That's what I do.
I think TK would just be extremely creative in the bedroom.
It may or may not be true.
Marv, question for you. This is coming from Alias. When are Marv and Alias going to finally become besties and go on all sorts of hijinks around the world?
Hopefully as soon as possible. I actually worked with Alias very briefly on a segment all the way back at the high stakes battle royale leading up to that. So yeah, we've always had this connection, and he's just a great guy. Real pleasure to work with. So I'm sure when his busy schedule hopefully kind of plateaus, maybe briefly, I can sneak in there and work with him.
Lycana, he's got one for you. You have so much lore and history with your characters. How do you keep track of it all?
I actually keep track of it in my head, which is terrible because I forget what day of the week it is. But my characters, I seem to remember everything. I have all their history plus everything I want to do in the future. I just remember it. Character-wise, my friend and I, we share the not played characters, and I think we have about 50 of them now. And they're all on a page with pictures and little notes about them. So we have a cheat sheet to keep track of at least the characters. And I think I might have shown that to a couple people.
He also apologized about your face at Leap of Faith. Just a heads up.
I'm half terrified, half excited to see what he means about that.
And this is for both of you. What are your inspirations, both for your characters and for your writing in general? Marv, you first.
That's hard to really pin down for me, like one specific. I mean, I try to loosely base his chaotic style on like a Joker type of persona, but then obviously with him being a lot bigger than the actual Joker, then that's where your Bane's Tom Hardy kind of comes in, or Tom Hardy's Bane comes into play. So I don't know. I just kind of use those and anything I kind of see that I like, I guess.
Well, that leads me to a question. If I know top horror movie is a tough one to answer. For both of you, since you brought up Joker and Bane, top Batman villain.
Heath Ledger's Joker for me.
Yes.
Exactly the same.
Am I the only one that was a big fan of King Tut from the '60s Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next set of questions, Bobby. I've got Dolly Waters pulled up. Do you want to go through her list?
Yeah, I'm having some difficulty with the site right now.
Okay.
That's why I've been kind of going off the cuff. Let me see if I can get it back.
I'll cruise in through Dolly. Just let me know when you're in the mix. Unless TK, do you want to ask Dolly's question?
I got it.
Go ahead.
Marf, who is your favorite person to RP against so far?
That's a tough one. So far, I've had a lot of good challenges. I mean, early on, I was lucky enough to work against Atara Themis, which was a lot of fun. Before we became a tag team, me and Lycana actually had a match, and that was a lot of fun to write for. And then, of course, in tag teams, we worked against RL and Corey, I believe, for one of the Warfares. And then, of course, them No Good Bastards at the Snow Job pay-per-view. That was probably, I think that was my favorite cycle, was that pay-per-view.
It's one of mine as well. There's a lot to write about. It was real fun.
Absolutely.
Why is Dr. Pepper superior to all other sodas?
Oh, tough. That's another tough one. Interesting. I don't know. It's a good one. I mean, root beer is okay, but I mean, Dr. Pepper, guy got a PhD in how to make pop. How can you go wrong?
You're not wrong. I'm drinking one right now.
Attaboy.
That's true. Dr. Pepper is wonderful, but did you really need the doctorate? I mean, Mr. Pibb did all right for himself by copying the recipe.
But only all right.
Here's a question, since we're talking Dr. Pepper, and I'm only asking this because, like, legit, I just finished it. Dr. Pepper cream soda, the mix. Have you either one of you had that?
I
have.
have.
It's delightful.
It's
What
delicious.
I was about to say is, I know, a little slice of heaven.
It's yes, yummy.
Okay, just making sure. Go ahead, TK. Sorry,
This
we were
episode.
on the Dr. Pepper kick, and you were just having one, and I just finished one.
Well, this episode of the XWF podcast is brought to you by none other than Dr. Pepper. All right, Lycana. Which win would mean more to you? Knocking off Alias or knocking off them no good bastards?
The bastards. There's not even a question. I wanted the tag straps for a long time, so that one would be biggest for me personally.
There you
I mean,
go. That's what I like to hear.
Alias would be huge because he's on such a roll, but personally, it's going to be the tag straps.
Well, to be fair, Alias is butter because he's on the roll, but we're sausage gravy because we're on the biscuit. That doesn't mean anything.
It means shots have been fired.
Oh,
Which team were you, Jacob or Edward? And I'm assuming that's some Twilight shit that I don't know.
Yeah, it's Twilight. I've actually never seen any of the movies. I don't want to see any of the movies.
That's the best answer anybody's ever given.
Clearly, it's the werewolf. Werewolves are superior to vampires, especially sparkly ones.
I'll agree on principle. Never saw those movies, but... All right, this one's for both of you guys. So we'll start with Marf and then go to Lycana. What is your favorite book?
That's another ridiculous question, but if I'm gonna like really quickly narrow it down, I'll say Stephen King's It. I read it really young, and it definitely shaped my imagination.
I don't have a favorite book. I read all the time. It's one of my favorite pastimes. I will read anything that gets put into my hands, but I can narrow it down to at least like Anne Rule and true crime. That's definitely my favorite.
Lycana, this one comes from Vinny Lane. You told me before that you guys really only wrote in one other place before. How does the XWF compare? Also, if you had to write just a plain regular babyface character, what would they be like?
Like I said before, the biggest difference is the trash talk and how it's based on multiple things rather than, I guess, your quality of writing alone. That's the biggest difference. Um, the babyface character, I actually had one. So if anyone has seen the handle Siren on my name instead of Lycana, she was my babyface character. It was essentially just me and everything I wanted to be as a teenager. Played to the crowd, the goody goody, the one who was the hero, and I could never be plain. So there was a lot of kidnappings and torture and things like that, even with my babyface character.
All right.
what is your preferred form of torture?
Uh,
Don't answer that. You don't have to answer that.
I had an answer to. That's the sad part.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead. I mean, by all means,
But
I'm
no,
gonna
it's
let
knife
you hang out
play
of the bag.
for sure.
Unless. Oh, okay. I don't. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't want it. If it's torture.
It says the
Hold on. Let me see if
capacity
I
to
can
go
get.
completely off the rails with that, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Next,
Okay. I'm fairly certain I have an idea what it means. We're going to be delving into territory that is less than family friendly, and this is a goddamn motherfucking family friendly show.
it's sponsored by Dr. Pepper, so we can't have porn talk on this one.
Well, if you went with Mr. Pibb, we could.
That's a very good point. Mr. Pibb didn't cough up the dough, though.
Yep.
Dr. Pepper did.
Damn.
This got a question for Marf from Dick Powers. Marf decides to take a bus one day, but oh no, it's now Speed. Marf is taking the role of Keanu Reeves. How well does he do in this situation? And what can he do to foil the evil Dennis Hopper's plans?
Oh, I love this question so much. I laughed pretty hard when I read it. Honestly, like, Marv's not a good person, so this isn't going to end well for anyone. More than likely, he just somehow figures out where Dennis Hopper is and drives the goddamn bus right into him and kills everyone. That's pretty much how that would end.
Why not end with a mass murder? You know, I mean, it only makes sense, right?
Yep.
Lycana, this is from Dick Powers. Lycana decides to take a trip to clear her head for a few days. But oh fuck, it's at goddamn Crystal Lake, and Jason Voorhees is chosen to kill some horny teens. How do you fare in this situation? And do you think you'll be the final girl?
I think she would absolutely be the final girl. Luckily, she's not a teenager with all the hormones, and she would literally just sacrifice anyone. She would just take them and just throw them into his path and fuck them.
There goes our Dr. Pepper sponsor.
Bye, Dr. Pepper.
JB, if you're still in the
Oh, Mr.
mix,
Pibb.
JB, if you're still in the mix, do you have any questions for Marf or Lakana?
Oh yeah, actually I do. So okay, so I want to know. I know that you guys are gonna get a shot and all that. All right. How do you guys feel about this, like this opportunity for your characters going against the no good bastards at this point? How do you guys feel about that?
I feel really good about it. Like, we're really excited. Definitely grateful for it. I know we've been jonesing for a one team versus one team shot at the tag belts, and excited to go against the bastards because, like I said earlier, we've worked against them before, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, just looking forward to it. Really.
Lakana?
The same. I am excited about it. Uh, we have wanted this for a very long time, so the bastards should probably watch out.
Mm, that's good. That's cool.
I'm wearing my vest, so you can fire all the shots you want.
Any other questions, JB?
That's it. All I can say is that good luck for y'all to tear down the tag team, make the tag team division proud. That's all I can say. Make that shit proud. Because one day, I'm gonna tell you right now, one day, maybe not now, one day, once once you guys or no good bastards go at it like cats and dogs, whoever wins, one day, we're gonna call one of y'all out for the titles. I'm just saying, but keep an eye out.
Bring on the thugs. Bring them.
I definitely look forward to that challenge.
All right.
You heard it here. You heard it on the podcast. It'll happen. Last set of questions we've got from Ariel Dixon. Marf, who are you dying to face that you haven't had a chance to?
All right. So, Mark, I guess from an in-character standpoint, who is the sexiest female on the Fed?
Oh yeah, what a question. Uh, in character, like obviously Marf is gonna pick his partner, but if I'm not allowed to pick my partner and I have to pick someone else, ah, I don't even know. Maybe Jenny Mist because I have a thing for Alexa Bliss. I don't know.
Miss Fury would have been the right answer.
Well, yeah, that too.
All right. And who are you dying to face that you haven't had a chance to?
Honestly, I could put so many people's name in that spot. Like before he took time off, we were hoping to work with Jim Jimson, even a tag match with Jim and Charlie at the time. Another guy that took time off was Sean Wild. I was hoping to actually do a program with him. Dean Rose cracks me up. I'd love to work with him. Uh, Jenny Mist, Miss Fury, Chris Page. You know, there's tons of people I haven't even had a chance to look at. Like I'd love to work with.
Right. The last question that we have for you specifically, Mark, before you get into answering this one, Ariel's asking, why is Bane superior to all other Tom Hardy roles? I'm going to amend this question because I disagree. I think that the best film Tom Hardy has ever made is something called Bronson. It came out in 2008. It didn't have a lot of widespread release, but it is a hell of a movie. If you get the chance to see it, I highly recommend you check out Bronson. Um, it's dark, it's drama, it's brutal, it's fucking awesome. Um, what is your personal favorite Tom Hardy film?
I completely agree with you. Actually, I was not going to agree with Bane being his best role ever. I own. I've seen Bronson as well, and completely agree. It's a incredible movie, and that might be one of his best roles. You can even look at him as Mad Max. I loved him in Mad Max Fury Road. He was great in that. A little bit overshadowed by Charlize Theron in the whole Me Too movement, but what can you do?
Oh,
Um,
Charlize Theron. You
yeah, like she was awesome in it. Not to take anything away from her.
yeah.
He was an asshole, but he was great in Revenant. Same with Warrior. He was kind of a dick character, but overall, I thought he played his character amazing.
He was also pretty good. I liked him in Rock and Roller, which not a lot of people are aware of. That was
Y-
that was a solid Guy Ritchie film too. But
yes,
Bronson was my favorite of his.
yes.
Um,
So a lot of his early stuff before he really got popular is some of his best work. In all honesty,
all right, Lycana, do you have any opinions on Tom Hardy films?
All of them.
Okay. What's your favorite one?
I actually am a fan of Venom simply because he can walk around the entire movie just looking like shit and it's still amazing.
Gotcha. Well, we're gonna lead into the next little series of questions from Ariel. One, I'm probably gonna amend one of them. But the question is, I think we kind of touched on it earlier. Is the left hand truly gone?
Depends on what you mean by gone. In the XWF, yeah, she passed it along, and with it just being them, they're focusing on the tag team and they dropped the name. As for the left hand being gone completely, there is people in other feds, but I really don't have too much to do with them. Uh, so I can't really comment on what they're doing too much. I know some of it, but not all, but it really doesn't pertain to the XWF.
Okay. Now the next question, it's something that I brought up with our last guest, Miss Betsy Granger. Um, there seems to be a larger influx of genuine female role players in the XWF these days. Um, is the shooting star championship, which is predominantly a women's division, something you have your eye on, or is it just the tag team championships? Or do you feel that you could be enhancing a women's division specifically, or just competing in co-ed open competition?
I've never wanted the shooting star belt simply because not a lot of people seem to want it at certain points. It gets very quiet. So for me, any other belt would be preferable. The tags, possibly the heart, have been something I would thought about going for, but I would definitely prefer the more co-ed environment than just focusing on a women's division. I don't think women need to be in their own division to shine. So when a woman actually goes out of the division and does great, I think it makes more of an impact personally.
I see. Well, that kind of answers the next question: is what your opinion of the shooting star division is. Um, I'll go ahead and ask: who are you dying to face that you haven't had a chance to? I know you kind of touched on that earlier, but just the direct question: who's your dream match right now?
I haven't faced before, it would have to be Paige because he's the
Gotcha.
top in the Fed. If it was someone that I've never faced one on one, it would be Corey because I have a lot of fun just being a snot to him.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's the last of the questions that we have pretty much documented and geared towards you specifically, unless we skipped over any. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and just dig up a few more. Again, not trying to find filler questions. It's just you guys are. I like engaging with y'all. You got anything to say, Mr. Page?
Yeah, will you dig up a couple more questions while you're doing that? I want to take a few minutes and just kind of talk about Marf and Lycana, both coming into the Fed right around the high stakes mark of November of last year. What Marf? Let me start with you. What drew you to the XWF to make the debut for high stakes? Because that was where I first saw you.
Well, so last year obviously got boring fast for a lot of us with COVID and not being able to go out and do your normal shit that you do. So as the year wore on, I was just getting tired and tired, and I was like, you know what, I haven't dipped into role playing in a while. Maybe I'll get back into it, but I don't know what's out there. So just kind of browse sites, and I think it was on one of those top 100 or top 10 sites or whatever, and saw the XWF was out of the top ones. It was the most active looking one, and it wasn't just boring. You're playing an actual wrestler because I don't really watch wrestling anymore like I did when I was a kid. So yeah, just kind of jumped on the website. I spent like a solid week arguing with myself about actually signing up because I didn't know if I could do it again. But read a lot of people's work back in, I guess that would have been like early September when I was reading and creeping the site. And then yeah, signed up early October. I think my first match was against Ash Quinn actually, and then I got to work with Atara after that, and then that led right into the high stakes battle royal.
I remember the high stakes battle royal. That was, the uni was on the line there. Lackland had just vacated it, and that was where I first got set my first eyes on you, and could see that there's something there. Uh, Lacana, when you came into the Fed, now you and Marf were not, you guys didn't know each other at that point. So when you came in as a part of, I mean, I want to say it was the left hand. I know that Bath showed up for the battle royal for high stakes. What was going on with you at that point?
I actually did join because of the left hand, even though I wasn't officially a part of it when I first joined. A bunch of us kind of from my old Fed, we had a reunion show over the summer, and then we decided that we wanted to keep doing this, but we didn't want to run a Fed. So we found the XWF and we all kind of joined. And that's kind of where it all started. And I think I'm the last one left right now.
were you booked for the Leap of Faith pay-per-view? I mean, that's a Leap of Faith pay-per-view. Goddamn, no, that's where my head's at. Were you booked for the high stakes pay-per-view?
Yes. My first match was a number one contenders match for the Shooting Star title against, I think, Hallison and Atara.
And when did that take place?
That was high stakes.
That was at high
My
stakes.
first match.
Your very first match, you're getting thrown into the championship competition. High stakes kind of set the stage for you guys, and from a outsider's perspective, the match that put you on my radar was the triple threat match between Continuum, them No Good Bastards, and the Descendants at Snow Job. We touched on it earlier in the podcast, but now that we got both the teams here, and we're kind of covering, you guys and your history here within the XWF, albeit kind of short. Your first pay-per-view cycle, Marf is involved in the battle royal to crown a new Universal Champion. He fared okay for the first go around, but 2 months later, not only are you challenging for the tag titles, but you guys put yourselves on the fucking map, coming off of high stakes. Within 2 months after debuting with Lycana, you debut and you you win the number one contendership for the Shooting Star Championship. Marf's pay-per-view debuts and involved in this massive battle royal for the uni, and it led to one of the best triple threat tag matches I think we've seen in a while, between the Descendants, the No Good Bastards, and Continuum, Corey and Doc. This match was the match that, like, I really feel like you guys arrived as characters. Like, you set yourselves apart as major players and future major players at that. So let's chat about this for a second. Where were you at, Lycana, when you saw the triple threat for Snow Job and this opportunity to come into your second pay-per-view, garnering a championship match?
I was actually surprised that we got the shot. When I looked at the card and saw that, I thought we were going to be booked either singly or just in some random match. So when I saw that, my mouth fell open. But since we both really wanted it, I think that's why our role plays really, I guess, shined compared to what they were. I know for myself, that's when I really pushed myself and went a little bit insane writing because I really wanted to get the titles and I wasn't about to waste the opportunity.
Marf?
Yeah, it was that initial seeing your name on the card for that match, that high caliber match, right in that time period where I think that was just like our first few weeks of kind of returning from almost leaving and all that debacle. So we were kind of like, we were definitely nervous but excited at the opportunity. And then once we started really working together and writing it out, it was just like, you know what, we can actually really go toe to toe with these guys. Let's bring our absolute best and have fun. And we did.
Not only did you do that, like I said, you guys really cemented yourselves as the players that you are and that you've grown to be, because it only got bigger from there for you guys, because you rolled into March Madness, and Mark, you pick up TV championship. Lycana, I can't remember for the life of me. What were you doing for March Madness while Marf was busy taking the belt off of Demos?
There will be blood grudge match against Ash Quinn.
That's right. You went from Ash, and then you picked up a big win over Betsy. Not even 2 weeks later. So you're starting your ascend in singles competition, and Marf is now holding the TV championship. Granted, the TV title run didn't last probably as long as Marf wanted it to, but the fact that he got there and he got there that quick is something that's a testament to the characters. And now you're moving full circle towards Leap of Faith, and your 6 or 7 month run here for both of you guys to start at high stakes, basically, essentially in November to now, it's night and day. And like, how do you guys view your progression as characters, where you were when you started to where you are now? And then on the flip side of that, where do you see your characters going forward? Marv, let me start with you.
Yeah, to start with, I definitely agree. I think that triple threat tag match really opened a lot of other people's eyes to like the fact that as a team we're a threat, and then coming out of that, both of us on our own having a lot of single success at the same time, so we can kind of prove that uh, whether we're a team or on our own, we're both really strong competitors. And then moving forward, yeah, the eyes are on the prize on those tag belts. That's been our end game for basically since that initial tag championship opportunity.
Lycana, go ahead.
For me, when we first met, we actually kept it hidden that he was part of the left hand for quite some time, but we had talked about teaming for a while, and it just never really seemed to happen until we had a match with Alias and Jenny Mist, and that was our first one back after, like he said, almost leaving. Um, so that was our first time working together, and from then to Snow Job, we actually came so far in such a short amount of time. And I could say the same from then to even now. Our ultimate end game, yeah, it's the tag straps. As a character singly, I don't really have too much direction for her. Really never made it past the tag straps. That's the one thing I really want.
I mean, you've got the best opportunity to do something about that coming up on coming to Leap of Faith. But something that I do want to touch on is that tag team turmoil match that was on Warfare. That you guys come in as the number 3 team. You took out the Thugs, you took out RL and Demos, and you took out Cooper and Stone. That kind of performance and that kind of match that had that kind of stakes, it's got to bump you up, as far as the team itself. That's got to give you a shitload of confidence going into what should be yet another, above the bar tag team title match for a major pay-per-view. Lakana, go ahead with that.
Oh, it definitely gave us a lot of confidence. I mean, well, I'm speaking for him, but for me, I woke up first thing that morning and I didn't even bother to read it. I just kind of scrolled quickly to the bottom and I had to reread it multiple times to be sure I was seeing what I was seeing. Um, it felt really good that we went from essentially the dark horses and the unknowns to being one of the top teams in the Fed in only a couple of months.
Marv?
Yeah, absolutely. It was an overwhelming feeling to get that win because there was some stiff competition. I mean, the role plays from the Avalanche boys, the role plays from Demos and RL. Then you got the stuff that JB did with the Thugs. Even some of the work Terry Borden put in. Like we just did our best. Hope that we swung for the fences and hit a home run on it. And yeah, same thing when I read the results. I didn't skip to the bottom. I painstakingly read through it carefully, and I kept it. I didn't know what to expect. So when I saw the win, I definitely made some noise.
If I may,
Yep.
this is something we talked about on a prior podcast. The way you guys have been addressing just being a tag team, going after the tag team championships. What would you say has been the biggest appeal for both of you to be within the tag team division specifically?
For me personally, I like working with people. I like bouncing ideas off them and combining stories. So for me, I think that might be one of the biggest draws. I do that normally, but when we get to work together as a tag team, we both get to tell a story together at the same time, and it gives it a little bit more because you get both characters' perspectives. That's my personal feeling on it.
Yeah, I'm really grateful to be teaming with Lycana because I've done some tag team work in the past here and there, but I've never had a very reliable partner, especially one like Lycana who's gifted, unbelievably gifted with her writing. So the stories we get to tell together have been really fun. And then on top of that, all the different people, all the different names we've got to work with already and that we might get to work with in the future has just been a lot of fun. I mean, just that triple threat at the pay-per-view, keep bringing it up, but like that was so much fun. That was Doc, Corey, and then the Bastards and us, and it was just, yeah, that was just unreal cycle.
Gotcha. I can definitely understand that.
TK, you in the mix?
I am.
You got anything else for Lycana and Marf before we tie a bow on this one?
No, I think this is where I say, I think we got it all covered.
That's your favorite line, isn't it, of every show? Listen, Lycana and Marf, man, we appreciate you guys coming on and chit-chatting with us for a little bit.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. It's been a lot of fun. This is great.
We'll definitely do all this again for sure. Also, JB, special thanks to you, sir, for coming on and chit-chatting with us for a little bit and weighing in on the big uni match coming up Wednesday night.
No problem. Anytime. Thank you.
Well, guys, I mean, I guess there's really only one thing left to do, right? I guess we need to shoot it on over to Vinny so he can take us out.
Not a problem. Today, tomorrow, every day hereafter, till the end of time. Go fuck yourself, Ghost Tank.
Thanks for listening to the XWF podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the XWF YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at XWF1999. And don't forget to check us out at XWF99.com. Be sure to join us next time where the action never slows down.